keep getting
older.
but it's their first cut. Too.
It's
That's
their first cut.
hit.
That was their first hit.
I'm gonna start doing the dance.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the latest episode of Live from the Black House. I am your host, Darrell Douglas. It has been the opposite of quiet on the creek in local politics and on Facebook, right? So much that is going on, and of course, we're going to get to it a little later. I am so excited about our guests today. Okay, so I'm going to hop right into it. We're gonna let it simmer for just a little bit as more people start to join, and y'all are gonna be super excited too. We're really gonna dive in. This has really been a Black week. It's been like an extension on Black History Month. I don't know. I feel like all the ancestors are looking down and shining down on us. Before we hop into politics, and we do a lot with politics here, I want to introduce the person that is here. I consider her a sister. She's always so pretty. Like me, sometimes she can be petty. And she knows a whole lot about politics because she's a professor. She's a Juris Doctorate, right? She didn't get one of those honorary doctorates, right? She did not send a $1,500 PayPal and order an Amazon what do they call it? Regalia. She did not. She worked very hard and she earned it for herself. Folks, to my right, your left, the one and only July McShay. Welcome to the Black House.
Thanks for having me back.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have been, let me tell you something. On City Council, there's Tiffany Thomas. Whenever I see her like reach up and push the button, I'd be like, all right, here we go. Right? There's
my
Ed.
girl.
Yes. Ed Pollard, you know, Mayor Pro Tem. Right?
Big sister.
Yes. Yes. Alejandra Salinas. You know, she came in hot. But whenever I see you get in line somewhere, you did it at the Tallarico cookout.
No, it was not a cookout.
It was not a cookout. It was a gathering. It was a gathering
at the KBC.
At the KBC.
Yes.
It was not a
town
cookout.
Hall
yes.
Gathering at the KBC.
Yes.
We're not going to even put that into.
We're not even going to. We were guests, clearly. Yes.
I'm always home at the KBC.
You always at the KBC.
I'm always at home when I'm there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we have Amber Fannin who's in there saying, hey.
Hey, Amber. I saw her the other night from across the room.
I'm so proud
always
of Amber.
Gorgeous. Skin always glowing.
I want to know what the regimen is.
Listen. I think it's her diet.
It has to be.
Like she wake up eating juice, drinking juices and eating berries. Like her skin is flawless.
She's so she's so like a level. Yeah. She is so good. Love us some Amber Fannin.
Love you, girl.
So very interesting. I'm not really a TV watcher, but here lately, I've been binge watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I just started watching RuPaul. Well, because it's in the, it's
in the queue.
It's in the queue. I never knew how good it was. And to that point, our guest who's coming later today, I would love to see her do some drag. You know who's coming? Yeah, I'd love to see it. Well, I would love to hop right in.
To which part? I'm scared.
Let's talk about. Oh, forgot this. And to my left, y'all's right, we have the Robbins couch. We have the one and only Carisha Rogers.
Hey guys.
No, you say, hello, do your thing.
Hey, beautiful people. How's it going?
People. And then we have the one and only Lee.
Thomas. How y'all doing?
Lee is our resident low propensity voter for now.
That's all right.
We're gonna change it. Lee, how's it been? Lee's been going out with me to do these field things.
You get different answers everywhere. So far.
Oh, y'all out in the heat asking, running people down.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's that been like? Anything stood out to you?
Yes,
just some people's answers. Thank you very much. Just people's answers.
Yes.
People's answers. You hear different things from everybody.
Lee cuts my hair every week, every Wednesday before we do this. He didn't do it today, so I'm a little grayer than I usually am. Because usually he knocks a little bit of this out. But it's a tug of war, and I'm losing. I'm losing. I'm gonna just lean in. I'm getting closer to 40. I turned 40
Soon.
in September.
It's a
September the
beautiful thing.
20th. Yes, that is gonna
Come
be
on.
a beautiful thing. What's new with you?
Me?
Carisha? Yes.
I mean, besides just attending that event yesterday,
Mhm.
I realized I'm too much of a workaholic. I'm trying to fix that.
Okay. And then at this point, I just want to pass it over to do you call yourself the petty professor or the pretty professor?
It depends on the moment.
Depends on the moment. Fill us
Typically the
in.
pretty professor, but
Fill us in with
petty
from
when
your
necessary.
view, what happened, and we're gonna dive deeper when our other
Special guest gets here.
Yes, when our special guest
Yes,
gets
yes,
here.
yes.
But from your view, how did all this happen? Because you know more about what happened last year. You know more about the lineup, like how this town hall even came to be.
This town hall came to be because somebody has not had healthy outreach.
Mm-hmm.
And that someone is our nominee for U.S. Senate. The Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate has not had good outreach here in Houston, particularly with, and I will argue say Black and Brown communities. And the reason why I would say that is there was an event in A-Leaf back in December that I attended. A-Leaf.
I'm gonna swap crowd with you first. So
Let's think about the demographics of A-Leaf. The demographics of A-Leaf is not heavily white.
At all.
Yeah, and that room was.
Come on in, special guest.
Come on in. Come on in, number one stunner.
In the room. Come on in the room. Huh? Yeah. Jesus is my doctor.
The gorgeous. We just got off the phone.
Yes. Not to cut you off.
I know.
Cut
me
you off.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Listen.
Let me tell you something. We almost all stood up in here when she walked in here. As I introduce the guest that is to my left, y'all's right, I first of all want to give her
flowers.
Flowers.
Yes.
Okay? Because what we saw last night was a master class in ... community engagement, representation, First Amendment, compassion,
grace.
Great, because let me tell you something. There was a couple of times.
I just told her that. I just told her that on the phone.
It was a couple of times, and I would have been the bad guy. Either you or Ivan could have been, and I would have been like, "Sister, come on, right?" But no, you made me reframe. Your first response to one of those speakers was, "Excuse me, everyone. We have someone right here who is pouring out their soul. They're pouring out their thoughts and how they feel. Can we respect them?" And I had to check myself because I was over there like, right? And then I had to say, right? Ladies and gentlemen, to my left, y'all's right, the Honorable Jolanda Joe Jones. Welcome to the Black House.
Thanks for having me. You know, I like the black part of the Black House.
Yes. We put that in all caps. All caps. So July was just professor. Was just filling us in on the petty professor. How we got to the town hall. So you were saying, so there was an event that happened in A-Leaf.
Yeah, it was one in A-Leaf. And what it showed was the outreach wasn't there because the room did not look like A-Leaf. And so the campaign has made either a choice or has struggled or both with outreach here in Harris County in particular. I can't speak about no other place in the state of Texas, and it is massive, but I witnessed that back in December. I think it may have been a choice to not be as aggressive with Black voter outreach because a Black woman entered the race. And I think that was a failure on the part of the campaign to not be steadfast in that. And I don't mean just having a breakfast here or, meet with the round table, but actual intentional activity in Black communities. And we also saw it November 18th at Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church.
Here's the dates. So you're not about to like.
Oh, my brain is just like that sometimes. But it was a Tuesday because on Wednesday we did breakfast at Mickey's. Okay. Like I remember.
Oh, that's where that picture was with the selfie?
And me in the yellow dress. Yeah. So that Tuesday, the event was at a Black church, and the outreach, his team did not know how to do outreach to Black Houston. So there was a huge crowd of white supporters
at Good Hope Missionary
Baptist Church. And it was for he and Colin Allred, and they kept them separate. So when Talarico finished his support, it disrupted the whole event because they all got up and they walked out. We had to close the doors, ask people to keep the voices down because they had to reset the event because it was like sucked air. So
this is when Colin Allred is still in
November 18th.
Okay.
A Tuesday at the Barbara Jordan. What's
November
that?
18th.
So they had two separate were they
it was the same event sponsored by HBAD.
Okay.
But for some reason it wasn't a forum with the two of them. Wasn't a debate. It was, we're gonna have you in a holding room. And while this person goes. Right. And that, like, I remember that the way the air was sucked out of the room. Anybody in attendance, if you're in the comments, you get in the comments later, they can attest to it because it was so like obvious. So there has been an issue with Black outreach. So that's two incidents prior to this Sunday. Now, last Saturday on 7-Eleven, right? On that Zoom call that started a little late, it was said that, and that's the petty. So we already told you I'm petty sometimes. But he said they will be doing a town hall for us, right? And we all left that Zoom thinking we're gonna have this Black town hall. And so when the link dropped, the link did not say it was a Black town hall. But there were some people like,
there was a Zoom the week before that.
That Saturday.
I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay. So when we left that Zoom on the 11th, we thinking like, okay, we're gonna have this event. But when the link dropped and when the flyer dropped, it did not give that. But some people who were on the call or heard about it, they were like,
and that's why I
fellow white folks, this not for us. Come in the room, let's sit down, let's be quiet, sit in the back, let them have their space. And so when we got there, it was white staff for the most part, volunteers in the vest. And what's you need to have people who are a part of the community that you're looking to serve, so that one, who you serving, right? Because to tell somebody to get up or they can't sit there, you don't know who they are, and then I have to be there to be a buffer and be like, no, it's okay, wow, this person really should sit here, So the campaign has to improve on their outreach in the Black community and be intentional about it for the purpose of being respectful to our community. I think that the staff is now getting that. I didn't mean air quotes, but I'm just saying separate from the volunteers, I think the staff is getting that now, and we'll see what happens next. But Sunday, the outreach was mainly done. Well, I know a lot of the outreach was done by us sharing our links.
And that's how I found out about it.
Yeah, because we shared our links.
Saying, hey, this is for us. We need to show up. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it wasn't. But hey,
And you were going to tell us, Representative, so how did, I will say this. When I saw the stop that was at the old This Is It, right? The first
and Family Cafe.
Yes, before that, right.
Well, yeah. So
when I saw that, the first thing I thought was, oh, I didn't know that this was happening, number one. The second thing I was looking for was Representative Jones, because it's
around the corner from my house.
Yeah.
Around the corner from where my aunt was murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I didn't see you. And so it's like, how did this come about? And I don't think what they don't realize is that we're doing extra addition and subtraction in our heads we see that and we think, is there a problem? Like, why aren't, and not just you, but
I got a whole bunch of texts saying, "Did you know he was in your district?"
wow.
I was like, "When?" They're like, "Now." I was like, "Where you at?"
You were at a
And
meeting?
then I was actually at the caucus meeting.
Yeah.
And his was funny. Brandon Mack, the president of the caucus, so I didn't know he was in town at all. Brandon Mack was like, and since and if you've ever been to an endorsement meeting that Brandon is over,
yes,
you know, when he started
Right,
doing this and
right,
bopping his
right,
fan,
right,
that you are literally in trouble.
yes,
And he was like, and I just want Tallarico to know that we endorse him and we can't get a call back and you come to our town and you ain't speaking to us today. And I was like, oh, he's here. I mean, that's just what I thought. Like, oh, he's in town. I didn't know where he was. Then I started getting text after text. Did you know he in your district? I was like, wow. And there were so many culturally incompetent things that happened in that, apart from he didn't talk to his colleague who he serves with, who is literally 3 doors down on the same hall in the Capitol. Apart from that, apart from that, during the quorum break, when there was a bomb threat at the Q Center and we had to be rushed out and pack our bags in less than an hour, we literally sat next to each other as we were fleeing, trying to find a safe
Safety.
place where they weren't trying to blow us up no more. And we had each other's numbers and stuff. So it was weird. But, you know, I just thought, you know, whatever. But that building that is now Mickey's,
yeah.
which Mickey started, I believe, in Fort Bend off of
59,
59.
and
Mhm.
Hillcrest or something like that.
Just
Mhm.
inside
West Belford,
Harris
I think it's
County.
West
Okay.
Belford,
So that's where it started.
Mhm.
It's not like a third ward staple,
Institute,
right? But now, Family Cafe was there.
Mhm.
This Is It was there because This Is
Mhm.
It started off in Fourth Ward.
Yes.
Mhm.
When Family Cafe left, now mind you, for people who are not indigenous to Third Ward, I'm the indigenous to 3rd
Mhm.
Ward.
Mhm.
Family Cafe was a soul food place.
Yes, it was.
Right.
Yes.
When family left, then This Is It came from the white folks like Bel Airish,
Mhm.
right? And they came there, and in Fourth Ward, and then so Mickey's has been there for like maybe 2 years. So there were people from Third Ward who were like, there are restaurants that have been here that are soul food
Yes.
that are more historic to Third Ward.
Mhm.
So there were so many things that people were talking about where I thought, if you want people to talk about you shouldn't give them all these other negative things
To talk about.
to
Mhm.
talk about. But, you know, at the end of the day, I was just like, you know, it is what it is. And it was crazy because I had other Black elected officials contact me, hotter than fish grease, and they felt disrespected, and people want to respond. But then when I looked at the comments said everything for us.
Mhm.
The comments were basically like, you wrong, it's 2 left feet.
Mhm.
It didn't go over like you said, and you vegan. I mean, and if I don't know if he's vegan or not, but that kept, am I lying?
Right. Right.
Am I
Say he
lying?
eat ribs.
And so you lied. I ain't seen nothing vegan on the Mickey's, you know,
Mhm.
thing. So I just think that I'm choosing my words carefully.
He eat ribs. He's not vegan.
And so, and tacos. But anyway, I just think that James Tallarico and his team have got to become rooted in Black Houston, like African American
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
There's because if you go to Third Ward, if you go to Fifth Ward, if you go to Independence Heights, if you go to these places that are historically Black, they're mostly African American Blacks.
Mhm.
They're not like African
Mhm.
Blacks, right?
Mhm.
And there are and people think that we're a monolith.
And we're
So
not.
people were coming to me because they thought that I had some sway with him. And so they were like, oh, he hired this person, he hired nobody Black. And I was like, well, they Black. And they're like, no, they're not African American. Right. So the one of the people that he hired, I know.
Mhm.
She used to be the former executive director of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus.
Mhm.
The other 2 people I didn't know.
Mhm.
Right. And what I'm thinking is, if you're responsible for Black people in Houston, at a minimum, you should hire people who know the elected officials.
Mhm.
At a minimum. And the elected officials should
I
know
have to
them.
say, don't they usually like run it by Like, don't they usually, hey, this is who we're thinking, or who would you recommend? Because the way I'm looking at it, if you're working a campaign and the candidate is coming, the caucus meeting is happening.
Absolutely.
You call Charlene Jones, Kathy Bluford Daniels, It's a
Precinct chairs.
Precinct chairs.
But
Other
you got to know who they are to call.
And you got to be able to.
You call your colleagues. You're coming to Houston Metro.
Yeah.
Call your Black colleagues that serve the Houston Metro area so that you can find out what's going on in the Houston Metro area.
Mhm.
And even if it's staff, instead of staff calling the elected, maybe
They
staff
would've done it.
calls
Yeah.
staff. Like, what's
Yeah.
on the calendar?
But that's the
Mhm.
protocol. Let me be clear. Elected officials talk to elected officials.
Mhm.
So, like, say you're elected, right?
Mhm.
And I'm coming to your district. So, for example, I practice law. Sometimes I'm in Montgomery County.
Mhm.
One of my colleagues who happens to be Republican, that's his district.
Mhm.
So if I go to court in Montgomery County, I ain't his friend or nothing,
Yeah.
but it's just protocol. Like, hey, just let you know,
Courtesy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in your
Yeah.
district,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna be at the courthouse. That's it. It's not because we friends.
Yeah.
It's just called respect.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. Not if you just passing through,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but if you gonna land there,
Mhm.
that's just what we do. And we call each other. And if you and I are elected, and I want to do a project with you.
Mhm.
Like, let's say Charlene and I are going to do projects because we line sisters,
Mhm.
right? She
Mhm.
represent the North Side, I represent the South Side. Charlene and I'll say, hey, we want to do something like this. And then I'll say, well, this is my staffer that's going to be responsible.
Mhm.
And then she's going to tell me her staffer that's responsible. And then we'll do a group text.
Mhm.
So I'll
Mhm.
tell my
To
chief,
put them
hey,
together.
and I put them together. So
Mhm.
staff speaks with staff.
Mhm.
And it's so like that now. So the
Mhm.
chiefs of staff, because
Mhm.
there's only 150,
Wow. Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
a whole group text.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Chiefs only talk to chiefs. Chiefs
Mm.
don't talk to people
Right.
less
right.
than chiefs,
Mhm.
right? Other people want to
Mhm.
know what the chief's doing
Yeah.
because there's only 150.
Mhm.
So you don't have a chief calling a member. You
Mm.
just don't do that. It's disrespectful. Now
Mhm.
you might call me and say, "Hey, my chief is gonna call you because maybe like I'm busy, I can't do
Mhm.
something,"
Mhm.
but they'll warn me
Yes.
and be like, "Joe, I'm gonna have
Professional
my
courtesy.
right."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so none of that happened. And so when you do things like that, and when
Mhm.
you have colleagues who ain't even in that district coming to show you,
That was weird.
then
me.
like you just don't know like
Yeah.
who, because if I support you, I'll hear there's people I can call
Right.
like, hey, can you go? Hey,
Yeah.
can you go? Hey, can you go?
It becomes a
I'm
phone
trying to
tree.
because I'm trying to
Yeah.
help you.
And then you'll tell the right people who will also tell other people. So then everybody's like, it's a concerted effort. And so when you don't do it that way, it looks like to me like, okay, maybe he doesn't have the support. Maybe there's something else going on. And it looks like an insult because it's like, are we open to be part of this? Is there an opportunity for us to really be part of this, or is it hands off?
I think it became like fodder, right? For people to make a lot of assumptions.
And it was noise.
yeah,
Yes.
when it could have
Unnecessary noise.
when it could have just been a phone call,
Yes.
right? And so in hindsight, we can say like we can point those things out, but moving forward, we're hopeful that
Mhm.
all right, the lesson been learned. We're not gonna do this
Yeah.
foolishness again because it caused too much riffraff, and we got a goal we focused on.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But just because we got a goal we're focused on doesn't mean that the professional courtesies, the respect, and the cultural competency doesn't have to happen. Like it must happen. All three of those things must
Mhm.
happen consistently because it just has to happen.
Yes.
Right. We can't continue with this. Oh, it was a mistake, but we got something to do. No, like on this journey to that point, you better keep those things in check.
Right.
And I think that what people don't appreciate, especially people who aren't black, is that there's a history of white people coming into our neighborhoods and lying to
Mhm.
us
Mhm.
and over promising and under delivering. And so game recognized game.
Yes.
And especially with Mondami in New York,
Mhm.
they now see the politicians can actually do stuff the politicians always said we can't do because nobody had ever done it. Right. And so I think that there's an opportunity. I think that this is the best opportunity in the last 35 years for Democrats to flip the state.
Mhm.
Right. But I don't think there's a big window to do it.
Mhm.
I believe that you've got to shoot a narrow shot and you've got to do everything right. And if the stars align, then we can do this. In every moment that he keeps missing these shots. And I can tell you that Mickey's fiasco, I cannot tell you the number of people said he disrespected you. I ain't vote for him. Ain't nothing he can do to get me to vote
I've
for
heard
him.
that too.
Whereas if that Mickey's fiasco doesn't happen, then you didn't lose those. And you can't afford to lose now one black
Right,
vote. Because
right.
let me be clear, there are not, and you and I were talking about
Mhm.
this, Petty, that you and I were talking about this. There aren't enough white people for him to win. Like
To
they
flip.
can't carry him, right? Because the white people either gonna vote for Republicans or him. And
Mhm.
more of the white people gonna vote for Republicans
Mhm.
than him.
Mhm.
Right? So he gotta get a certain percentage of white people, and I hear he doesn't have those, right? He also has to get a certain amount of Hispanics, and I don't mean of the people who vote, I mean of the people who can vote,
Mhm.
Right.
right? Because if he gets 100% of a very low voting number,
Mhm.
that's still not enough.
Mhm.
The only people that can carry him to the promised line and over the goal is us.
Yeah, because we
Mhm.
voted 94%.
And so the very people that you need to win this for you, you upset. Here's what's funny. I believe myself to be very politically knowledgeable. And even when I ran for office in 2003, when I was 37 years old, I thought I was politically knowledgeable. I had no clue what undervote meant, right?
Mhm.
Most people
Mhm.
don't know what an undervote is.
Mhm.
Like a regular person walking in the street, sort of like they didn't know who Tallarico was
Right.
when you was walking in
Museum
Irving
Park,
Park
yeah.
yesterday. But anyway, I digress. So I've heard so many people say, you know what, I'm just gonna skip them state races and I'm just gonna vote local. Like I'm gonna skip the state. These are not low propensity voters, which are really the voters he needs, which
Mhm.
those are the kind of people that vote for me,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
These are professional people like lawyers,
Yes.
accountants who say, I'm just gonna skip that race. Those are the kind of people that normally vote
Yep.
for him.
The whole ballot.
Those are those, and so it's just really interesting. Like cultural competence. I learned this a long time from Keith Wade. You knew Keith.
Mhm.
He was my advisor. He said,
Mhm.
Joe, you can't have no meeting with a bunch of black people and don't feed them.
Yes.
Right? You can't do it.
Right.
You fed us good
Right?
last
You
night.
can't do it.
Right. Right.
So and if you have low propensity supporters,
Mhm.
and for people who don't know what that means people who basically feel disenfranchised with the system.
Mhm.
They really don't want to vote. They almost.
I call him our resident low propensity voter. He's my barber. That's Lee.
so they got to
Yeah.
be inspired by somebody.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So for the people who, for the first time, came to one of my events,
Mhm.
my events are always like that. I get a lot of people come to my events, not your normal political people,
Mhm.
and they are people who think that I'm the only person that
Mhm.
listens to them. And so if they know I'm on the ballot, they'll come vote for me.
Mhm.
They'll skip everybody else's race, but they will come vote for me.
Mhm.
And that's what Tallarico needs.
Yes.
He needs people who normally wouldn't vote for him to vote for him. And so I had food yesterday,
Mhm.
because when you grow up poor like I did,
Mhm.
you ain't got no food. You might not have no gas money to get to where you're going. You might not be able to afford to park. So for me, it was very important to have it at a place where people could park for free.
Mhm.
If you grew up poor like me, then you understand that's important. Otherwise, it's a barrier to attendance.
Mhm.
And so I go to black businesses in my district
Mhm.
and I say, hey, I'm having an event.
Mhm.
I want to promote you. I cannot tell you the number of times I said Savoy, Savoy, and Savoy Samo,
Yeah.
right? And they was giving, and I grew up poor, right? So the only time my mother bought shrimp was at income tax time, because she had a little bit
Wow.
of money, right? Because a
Mhm.
lot of times, my food for the day was free and reduced lunch, right? They had shrimp yesterday for free.
Yes.
For poor people, that's a
Yes.
luxury,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
They had options.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll go to Rep Jones and stuff because she gonna feed me good,
Right.
right? And I'm gonna get you something to drink,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
so, and I heard those other events, which I won't mention, they ain't had no food, right? And I remember when President Obama was running in 08, I was on the team that was supposed to help him win Harris County.
Mhm.
I rented a church. I rented the church. It was a
Were
purple
you in
church.
office at that time? Were you
No, I was not in office.
You wanted
no,
city
no,
council?
that's
City council.
that's true. I was
City
the
council.
first, but I still didn't know about like the Texas two-step and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an actual Democratic
Mhm.
Party.
Mhm.
I just knew I was a Democrat.
Mm.
But then President Obama started talking about the Texas two-step.
Mhm.
President Obama started talking about the process, the caucuses after the election and all this stuff that I didn't know about. So I some kind of way got picked, and I was working with Senator Royce West, who I really didn't know, Daniel Clayton, who was his chief of staff at the time, and they were organizing Dallas, and I was part of the people that were organizing Houston, and we would meet once a week at there was a Subway over off of Southmore and Live Oak.
Oh,
Southmore.
right there
I know
by
what you're
where,
talking
where
about.
yeah,
We
the
would
Ace
meet-
check cashing is right
Yes,
there.
Yeah, I know that.
there used to be
And
we-
Barnes
right.
funeral home. Yeah.
So that's what my dad's services were, and that's right around the corner from Mickey's.
Mhm.
Anyway, I digress. Am I petty now?
You petty. You petty.
And so we would meet, and what we learned, I didn't know anything about the process about how to win.
Mhm.
So they told me you need to read the Democratic Party handbook because you vote on it every time you change
Convention.
every
Mhm.
convention. And so the Obama people back then it was called Obama for America.
Mhm.
They were teaching us what we needed. So I
Mhm.
literally rented that church. I can't remember. He ran for city council on OST. There was a church. It was purple. Michael P. Williams.
Okay.
He had a church over there. I rented the church. I went and spent my own money and bought tacos from Papa's Barbecue downtown and went to they had a nasty ass Fiesta and bought some orange juice and some water. True story. You would catch a disease when you went in that Fiesta. And I had that for the people because I was told you can't have people there for like 3 or 4 hours and
You
feed
don't
them.
feed them. You
Yes.
got to feed
And
people.
so, and I spent my money for us to practice, a
Mhm.
caucus, and so I've used that, and so like something as simple as that,
Mhm.
there are enough people that support him, Black people, elected officials who support him, to where they got people that they know they can go to and say, "Hey, can you sponsor this food?"
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, I mean, even looking at because it's Delilah who works for the campaign, and I
love
ran into her,
Delilah.
and I ran into her the other
I
day
don't know.
Incredible.
at
Incredible.
Brass Tacks.
I don't know.
You will love her.
and,
She's amazing.
and then Robert. So Robert
I don't know him
Nake,
either.
he reaches out and he's like, "Hey, I'm working on the campaign, blah blah blah." So this is before the town hall and before the Mickey's thing. I'm like, I'll hear you out. He asked who are some people that he should talk to. I gave him some
Why are
numbers.
you asking you? My question is, why are you asking you? In fact, if he got to ask you who to call, why wouldn't they just hire you? I mean, I'm sorry, my brain just worked like
Yeah,
that.
right?
And so that's why Delilah, to me, she just started this month. Delilah makes the most sense because Delilah ain't got to call and ask you nothing because Delilah knows the community.
And then I look at it like
Who is Delilah? What she look like?
Delilah, she's worked for-
petite.
she's worked for which one was the chair? The last one of the before Otis? Lily.
Lily.
She worked for Lily.
Dexter.
She worked for Dexter.
Dexter.
She's
She's
Delilah
Fort Bend.
O.
She's-
Delilah O.
She's Fort Bend's.
This Harris
Rita.
County.
Listen to me. Let me finish. And southern part of Houston.
What's the southern part?
Southwest.
I
That's it.
graduated from Elsa. Who Delilah is? Who she is?
She younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. But my point is about Delilah. Delilah knows our culture. She's sensitive. First of all, Delilah is what I call black mix. And I
What
love
that mean?
Delilah. Her mother's from Mississippi, her dad from Nigeria. She black mix. She get the best of both worlds.
So-
right?
So I mean, and not to knock Robert, right?
But I asked him, I met him last night.
Yeah, but I also
Me
look at it
too.
like, well, I saw, and he was there. He walked right past me. My mom was back there serving spaghetti. I tried to wave twice, but
I shouted you out for
Yes.
feeding them people. too,
yes,
right? For my
because
people.
and the thing, I didn't know y'all was gonna have that many people. I was thinking
it was gonna be 5.
it's gonna be no, not 5. I thought it was gonna be 40 or 50. And so I was
Really?
like, well, because
You don't come to my stuff then.
well, but I didn't know y'all was gonna do it like that. I knew it was gonna be
Like
a-
what?
Because normally when I go to stuff at the third, y'all know Third World Multi Service Center,
But she's saying you hadn't been.
but it was
to-
hers.
Let me be clear.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me be clear. Don't compare me to nobody.
Right.
My mother
Yeah.
told me that I need to compete against myself.
There you go.
Okay,
There you go.
my stuff ain't booty.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, we'll
We
bring
had to go find
and we'll
chairs.
add.
We didn't have
Yeah,
enough
they
chairs.
did. I saw.
Yeah.
I saw. And so what got me though was when, like, after that phone call, and this was genuine. I was really like, hey, here's some numbers, here's some people, and like I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's see what. And so then the next week, I see this
What is this?
Mickey's.
Oh.
Mm.
And so I'm like, did I not pass muster? Or is it?
No,
so,
you didn't.
And so then that becomes this.
Your
So I'm just
feelings
like,
hurt?
But it's important to
no.
hire people who are connected to the community, that people know. Everybody might not know them, but enough
Right.
people know them or know of their work product that can vouch for them, but they can also reach out. They have phone numbers. They
Yes.
have the audacity to make phone calls. They don't fear calling
Yes.
somebody instead of saying, well, can you call them for me?
right.
You know,
right.
so
And when people call me, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna call a name of nobody. How you get my number?
Right.
This is private. Who gave you my number?
Right. Right.
Like, you work for an elected official that I serve with?
That's
Don't you
wild.
ever call my number no more? I don't know you.
Yeah.
And so it's disrespectful.
it is.
Like,
Yes.
people have called and asked me for people's numbers. Like, even Darrell's. I
Yeah.
called Darrell and be like, hey, such and such want your number.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to just give out your number. Do I have permission?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like professional courtesy.
Yeah. So what was the meeting?
That's good
before-
home training.
All
That
the way
is.
around, I was gonna
What
say,
was
that's
the me-
professional.
And what was the and before we get to that, Lee's like outside just getting in, right? Lee is a barber. Lee is just finding out about all of this. We were talking to people today. We were talking to people.
It's Atlanta Housewives, child.
Right.
Drama.
It is.
Drama.
We were talking to people today, and we were talking to people day before yesterday. Lee, what are you seeing? And then what will be your answers to some of those questions? Like, do you feel prepared to vote in November?
No. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
Especially from what I'm seeing now. No. Exactly for the same reasons. It seems like people only know the bad about the pictures we show.
Yes. Yes.
If they don't know you, they know the bad part. He's like, oh, I don't know you. Oh, ain't that the guy that did?
So
The wrong thing, but-
context, the other day I had a thing that said, "Who is James Tallarico?" No context, no. I just walked up to people. We
I thought,
It was 13 people we talked to.
Mhm.
2 knew him. Okay, 11 did not. Of the 2, 1 said that they would support him. The other, who was the lawyer, that black lawyer, who, and I can't wait to put out the full episode, because he was one of the people that you were talking about. He's a professional. He's a lawyer. He's an attorney, and he said he's not voting for Tallarico. And he
and they
explained
told me it was undervote. Like, I'm undervoted.
That's what he said.
I
Yeah,
was like,
that-
you know
that
what
is-
undervote means?
that is what he said. Today we went out. I had 3 questions because I was like, you know what? Let me mix it up a little bit. The first question was, do you plan to vote in November? And what have you heard? That was question number 1. Question number 2, and I had pictures. First, I asked, who have you heard that's running for governor, to see who they knew. Most people knew Abbott, right?
Because he's the governor.
Because he's the governor.
That's it.
They didn't necessarily know Gina Hinojosa initially, but when they saw it, they were like, "Oh yes, well I'll vote for her." Or, "Oh, I have her. Okay, now I know."
Mhm.
And then we asked, of course, about the Senate, the U.S. Senate race as well, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to
I
see.
had a question.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
because I think you just made me excited, but I just
Mhm.
want to check. So that means we have a chance of people knowing.
Who Gina
So,
Hinojosa? is? Yes.
yeah, because I need her to win.
Yes.
I need her to.
And I think what Representative Jones, what Jolanda was just saying, is very accurate. The reason why we're ringing the alarm, and
Yeah.
correct me if y'all feel this way too, in 2016, I would see on CNN and MSNBC, Hillary by 90%.
Yeah.
Hillary's got it. And then I would go to my barbershop, right?
Mhm.
Which used to be where the turkey leg cut eventually was. Or I would go to the
Midtown
kickback.
Barbershop.
Right. Yes. And that is not, now I'm not hearing people that are supporting Trump, but it's not the same excitement, right? I have an internal barometer and I'm like, it's a little different this time, right?
It's not an exciting campaign at all. And it's not
It's-
exciting.
But it's really interesting to me. I'm a former, a whole bunch of time national champion.
Mhm,
I'm competitive at everything that I do, right? I'm always trying to figure out how to win.
mhm.
And nobody remembers who lost.
Right.
Like, they never remember who
That is
lost.
so true.
In fact, some of my friends from California always say, why y'all people from Texas, which I don't say this, say, remember the Alamo, don't you realize y'all lost,
Mm,
right? So
Mhm.
I keep hearing them compare Tallarico to Beto.
yes.
And I keep saying, why is Beto the standard? He raised money like it grew on trees,
Yes.
and he lost.
Yes.
And Beto lost because he did
did not go
not
to the Black
appreciate
Convention.
black
Mhm.
vote.
Right.
Say what you want to say. He took us for granted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna need, when people are saying or trying to compare Tallarico to somebody, like compare him to somebody who won.
Right.
Like, because if he does
It's
what
been
Beto
so
did,
long. It's been so
Right.
long.
oh, but my point is this. For my event yesterday,
Mhm.
one of the reasons I had my event was I heard from my constituents, they just constantly complaining, constantly bitching that the Democratic Party doesn't like listen to them.
Mhm.
Right now, I was born in 1965. My entire life, like black people are Democrats for the most part,
Mhm.
right? They're Democrats. So black people might be mad at Democrats, but if I go vote, I'm gonna vote for Democrats, right? I might vote for them holding my nose,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna vote for them. So at least you know they were still Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, you say it's different. That's
Right.
not what I'm
It's not
feeling
what I'm
now.
feeling, exactly.
Right now, I got people that's like, what if any of them, what have they done for us?
Yeah.
I feel like political party homeless.
Yes.
I hear that,
Yes.
which means if you go to the polls whereas you older black people would vote for Democrats anyway if they went. Now you got people who just are like, I'm tired. And then we had Obama. So now we know somebody black can actually get elected.
Yes.
And at one time before Obama, it was like, okay, we got to pick the lesser of evils. Which white person can, that's going to do us the least amount of harm. And now it's like, ain't no black people, I ain't going to vote. And so when I'm constantly hearing these, I'm like, if black people's voices stay like that,
Mm-hmm.
then for sure we're going to lose.
Yes.
Right. And if the people that support Trump stay where they are, we literally are going to have no civil rights left. Right. And so I had to pray about my speech at the Democratic convention. They gave me a thing: be bold and be brave. That's some white shit. That ain't black shit. I was like, what does that mean? And if you go back and listen to my speech at the end, I say, be bold and be brave. You were wondering where that came from?
Yeah.
That was what they told me to talk about. But I said, I just feel like I need to speak to black people,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to tell the party on the main stage that we're losing black people, and that we're not excited and we're not going to come out to vote as a unit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then because I didn't want the party to say nobody told us, we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now the trick was, first of all, I wouldn't even go on because they had no black people except for
Mhm.
Cory Booker.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to negotiate my way onto the main stage. Now it wasn't on the day when it was
Mhm.
after most people left. But I'm from the corner of Scott McGowan. I'm from Third Ward. So you give me this much opportunity, I'm gonna grab that bitch by the horns and ride it, right? And so it needed to be said on the main stage, and then was able to speak on a panel
Mm-hmm.
about the state of Black Houston. I mean, the state of Black Texas, which the party really didn't want to hear what I said then, but somebody had to be telling the truth. So, but they wanted us to give them the speech in advance under the guise of we want to put it on the teleprompter. I was like, nah, I roll with it. That's why I kept looking down. I mean, I could have given it to him. If you know what I'm gonna say, it's too many ways for you to sabotage
Right.
me,
Right.
right? So now I'm just gonna sneak and do it. And I fully expected for black people to understand, because nobody listens to us and no one says in the political arena what we're really feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fully prepared for white people to hate me, because the worst thing you can do with a racist is tell them they're racist. The worst thing you can do, like to a white progressive, is tell them they don't understand the black plight.
Mm-hmm.
And right, that's the worst thing you can say. Even if you just just want them to be an ally
Yes.
and just listen to you and understand you, because they haven't walked in your shoes. So I was prepared for all of that. So after the Road to Blue Goes Through Black speech, which I trademarked it and stuff, so don't worry about that. Can't nobody steal it. All of a sudden, people were like, we want for you to talk. So that's how my town hall came up, was I'm gonna give people a forum to tell the Democrats how to earn their vote.
Mm-hmm.
And then even you can tell people that at my event yesterday, I literally told the white people, y'all need to stop. If you think you're going to shame us into voting for Tallarico, it's not going to work. In fact, some people You tell them to do one thing, they're gonna do the opposite,
Mhm.
right?
It's doing
To-
damage.
Right?
Yeah.
It's doing damage, right?
And it's
So-
gaslighting.
and so
You
you
want to
think,
switch?
like
You
we
wanna
like
switch?
we're low.
and so you think that you're helping him and you're not. And then
Mhm.
like I challenge him on Candace Weber. Y'all white people saying you stupid. What you gonna do? Vote for Paxton? That is not a winning argument.
Right.
No.
You know why? If that was a winning argument, Trump wouldn't be president.
Right.
Because he was a 34-time convicted felon, rapist, pedophile, and all these things. And they said he really bad, and he won the
He
White
won.
House.
Mhm.
So why you using losing strategies?
Mhm.
And so you up there coming for Candace when brother Abdul Halim Muhammad,
Yes.
formerly Dr. Robert
Yes.
Muhammad, who's like way up in the Nation of Islam under
Mhm.
Louis Farrakhan, literally puts a whole Facebook post saying Candace Weber is one of my heroes.
Mhm.
So now you done riled up brother Robert Muhammad,
Yeah.
who are a certain faction
Yes.
Mhm.
of black people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
many of which are low propensity voters,
Mhm.
believe brother Robert.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, brother Abdul Halim Muhammad.
Yes.
But my point is, y'all doing harm to Talrico, right?
Yes.
So stop gaslighting us. And while some people might pay attention, that I told them, you're not gonna change, you're not gonna define the narrative.
Right.
I'm not gonna buy into that. And so the whole point of my event yesterday was to give black people a safe space, a protected space. Because if they came for them, I was coming back for them to be unapologetically black. Because in this day and age, they're saying, like, we're divisive. I had one of my Latino supporters call me yesterday before my event, say,
Was
why
it
are you
Belinda?
I'm not telling you.
Because she called me yesterday.
Okay.
She called me yesterday.
Okay, well,
Belinda.
so, and asked me why I was being divisive. I said, why is advocating for black people divisive?
Yeah.
Like, well, why didn't you invite us? You know, we have issues too, because this was a black thing. It's okay to be in a black safe space.
Right.
And
Right.
and I want you to get yours too.
And that's what
I want you to get yours too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not just saying now they need to give us our 25 million,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you go advocate. But it's not like I can't be all things to all people.
Right.
And to say that me advocating for black people necessarily means that I'm trying to put you down
Mhm.
is flawed thinking, is
Mhm.
disingenuous, is racist, and there are a whole bunch of Hispanic state reps
Yeah.
that could do the exact same thing.
Right.
That couldn't be
And
called
should.
and, right,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be called the road to blue goes through black. It might go through brown,
Mm-hmm.
but you can do that too,
Right.
right? So how that became a way to fight each other is beyond me. And the troping with black women, I told them, if I'm angry, I'm justifiably angry.
Yes.
So I'm gonna own it,
Yes.
right? And so you can say she was loud. Now HISD didn't get taken over because of me. HISD got taken over for 3 reasons. HISD got taken over because they had a walking quorum. I can say the name with Sergio Lira, Diana Davila, Elizabeth Santos, Holly Villaseca, and Ann Sung.
When they were trying to get rid of Grenada Latham.
They did. They fired her
Mhm.
illegally, right? That's one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason was something to do with
Them
contracts.
contracts and
That-
Papa
yeah.
Do's.
Okay, that ain't had nothing. That
I read it.
that it ain't have
was-
nothing
It's
to-
in my
that's a
phone.
mess.
that
still.
didn't have nothing to do
That
with
was a
me.
mess.
And again, like contracts. So now you like, oh, it's because no, it's not.
Mhm.
It's because of y'all. In fact, in that TEA report, and I'll never agree with TA. The only person who didn't get in trouble was me.
Yeah.
You right.
Right?
Yeah.
The only one. Go
Yeah.
read it.
I got it in my
So
phone.
y'all can sit up there and lie you want to. So you
Yeah.
think just because you say it,
But
right?
it
But
makes
you
you
say
think.
stuff on the internet you don't say to my face. So my point is that y'all deflecting,
Mhm.
and the more you deflect, the people that know the truth are getting angrier and angrier.
Mhm.
And so they are lit white progressives. And just because I'm calling a spade
Yeah.
or a diamond
Yeah.
Mhm.
does not mean I'm being racist.
No.
Right.
I'm telling the truth.
Right.
So white progressives are trying to blame losses on us when the only reason Donald Trump is president is because white progressive women voted for him over Hillary,
Yes.
who was their hero.
Yes.
Now that's a whole nother psychological counseling conversation for another day. But you're not about to blame black people because Donald Trump and your right to have an abortion is taken.
Mhm.
So I think that before you point fingers at other people's houses, I'm gonna need you to fix your own.
Mhm.
I'm done
And-
on my
and
soapbox.
Why don't they like? I look at the way there was. I wouldn't even say standing room only because there wasn't even spaces to stand
It
at
might
the
have
third
been-
at the third one.
Thank you
There
very
wasn't.
much.
It was
Thank you
packed.
very
There was
much.
not. And
And we had enough food to last the whole time.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
But I look at what you were able to do, right, compared to what the campaign did. I also noticed you weren't in the room. You were in the room, but you weren't in the room. So imagine what that could have looked like. It would have been more culturally competent, right?
I'd have been like,
Look
where the food
at-
at?
Right, right. And so it's like, why don't they? And I'm talking about the state party, the national party, and I'm looking back at Quorum Break. I'm looking at Quorum Break, and I'm looking at them hand the mic
To white
no
people.
offense. No offense to the to the chair of the caucus, but he's no Jolanda Jones, right? And it's like,
Thank you.
it's like, let him give his intro, but you have to have her to give the thing. Like, they don't see where the attention ticks up when you get on, and why don't they use people like you
So
to build that power?
So here's what I think. I really like to tell you the story of the Quorum Break, how I
Yeah,
ended up going viral.
Please.
Because it was
It's
organic. It was organic. It wasn't planned. I'm a team player. So if
Mhm.
you tell me a play, I'm gonna run it.
Okay.
Right? I'm gonna run it. And so I first was upset because there were two groups that were in and nobody else was, that went to California and Chicago. I knew nothing about either trip. Nothing about either. So I started getting calls from my constituents saying, you didn't go Quorum Break. We expect you to go Quorum Break. I was like, we have a Quorum Break.
Dr. Candace Matthews was like, if y'all come back.
So I was like, we haven't quorum broken.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have. You didn't go. They were in California and they in Chicago and you ain't there. I'm like, wait, hold up. So she sends me some social media and I see my colleagues are in California and Chicago. As a person who's on a team,
That's crazy.
when a teammate doesn't know the play, they really ain't on the team, right? So then, and meanwhile, back at the ranch, my constituents are thinking that I'm not quorum breaking. So you're hurting me, right? So when I finally find out half of what's going on, they say, oh, don't worry about it. We're sorry. We made a misstep. We're going to be going other places. We'll invite y'all. I said, well, I want to go to the next one
Yeah.
because I got to prepare my reputation over some shit I ain't even do.
Yeah.
Right? So they then end up telling me less than 24 hours that we were going to that a group were going to New York. Do you want to go? Me personally, I think they told me less than 24 hours so I couldn't get ready fast enough.
Ooh.
Right? But I was like, hell to the yeah, I'm gonna go.
Mhm.
My mother lives in me. I didn't tell my family what I was doing. They thought I was going to Austin. I was like, y'all got to come get mama. I'm leaving. And then they was like, and oh, by the way, we gonna Quorum Break after that. So we gonna leave New York. After that, I was like, where we going? They was like, we can't tell you. I was like, you gonna tell me because I need to know how to pack, okay? Because I got to be cute and I got to be weather appropriate. So they end up telling me we going to Chicago, right? So we going to meet the governor of New York, who's Kathy Hochul, which the truth is, I didn't even know who she was before we went, right? And so I packed my stuff. Then they said we can only have one suitcase. I was like, oh no, never. I'll pay extra for luggage. I've got to have options. So anyway,
Your ass need to be a boule.
so anyway, so we go to New York, and I noticed it's a bunch of whispering. And if you're on a team and people whispering, that really means you ain't on the team. So I was trying to figure out what was going on. They told us we're going to meet with the governor of New York tomorrow. And, we're trying to raise awareness. And they gave us talking points. And the talking points, there were two talking points. Trump has made Abbott bend the knee. And I was thinking, that ain't going to motivate black people. Don't nobody black people don't be watching Game of Thrones. That's some English shit.
Mhm.
Bend the knee. Like, what that mean?
Right.
And I watched Game of Thrones, right? So I knew what bend the knee was, right?
But,
Right.
But I knew my community
Yeah, you got the
wouldn't know no
You got
bend
the
the knee.
pulse. Yeah.
And that Trump said, told Abbott to jump, and Abbott said, how high? And they want to steal 5 seats. And I said, but the seats they stealing, 4 are black seats and 1 is Hispanic. So they really targeting black people,
Mhm.
and they targeting 1 Hispanic seat. Why would you say that? No, we can't say that. No, we can't say that. I read those talking points. I was like, I ain't saying this. But they also told us that we weren't going to talk. right? So I'm like, okay, but I thought, and I didn't know who was gonna talk, right? So get up the next morning.
This the hilarious
We
part.
get up the next morning to go to the governor's mansion, and I get my stuff. I want to wear like some animal print because I want to be. And so we go and we get in these SUVs, and again, there's whispering, and I'm not a part of the whispering. And we get to the governor's mansion, and we're walking down this long hall, and we're going to the governor's press room, and right before we get to the governor's press room, they say, oh, by the way, there's only going to be 3 speakers. The speakers are the governor, the speaker of the assembly, which is their house, and your delegation leader. I said, well, who is our delegation leader? We got a delegation leader. Ain't nobody tell me. And it was Mahala, my desk mate. So, and they were like, ain't nobody talking, right? So when we walk in, there's a long table. The governor's here. Mahala's, oh, I'm sorry. Before that, there was a dinner. I mean, there was a breakfast at the mansion, and Mahala was sitting across from the governor. It was clearly orchestrated, and certain people, they knew where they were seating for the optics, I guess, for pictures and stuff. But I ain't know nothing about it because ain't nobody tell me nothing, which is fine. I'm a team player. I was just happy to be in New York since they went to Chicago and LA, and I ain't get to go. Right? I just want to go so people can know I left and I think I ain't quorum break, right?
Yeah.
Since I've been accused of something I ain't do and didn't know about. So then when we walk in, there's media. And we already been told only 3 people are talking. The governor's sitting here. Mahala's sitting to her. If you're facing the cameras, to her left. The speaker of the assembly is to her right. And the other state reps are on the side. So there's 2 side short tables. And then the governor's staff was sitting next to the governor. I mean, next to the assemblyman and Mahala. And I remember when I walked in, I thought these optics don't look good. Like,
it's centered New York and had y'all on the edge.
and it was a governor, our delegation leader, the speaker of the assembly, and we were on the edges. I didn't say anything. I just thought this don't look right. They ended up start moving the name tags, and then they moved, and that's how I ended up sitting next to the speaker of the assembly. So each one of them gave their soliloquy. To those and so, they gave their soliloquy, they gave their monologue, and then the media starts asking questions. And nobody was talking about that they were stealing 4 black seats and 1 Hispanic one. And then it was when Mahala talked, they asked her a question, and she said, she started talking about Romania. She's an immigrant family from Romania, and they were talking about Romania and fascism. And how America was America.
Headed down
and
that
you could
way.
And I just remember thinking, don't nobody remember what fascism is? We went to school. What the hell is fascism? Black people don't understand that. Black people gonna understand. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, I need to write a book with those thought bubbles because the things that go through my mind are hilarious. And sometimes I can't say them. And so the right answer was they trying to steal black seats. They're trying to get rid of the Congressional Black Caucus because they have the most seniority, and they're going to cut what used to be 4 black seats into 2. And when Mahala finished talking about Romania, I said, hell to the no. They lying. They trying to steal 4 black seats. They racist. If you will look. So, and the media tried to move on after Mahala because I wasn't supposed to talk. And so you saw the speaker of the assembly, because if I'm him, I was there. He was looking at me, look at his face. He was like, he had to look like, you ain't supposed to be talking. And I just went off, like, because they were like not telling the truth.
Yeah.
They weren't saying that they trying to steal black seats, because nobody ever wants to talk about when they stealing stuff from us. Like, it's really a funny story, but it's really
tried
a
to water
sad
it
story.
down. Yeah.
No, they didn't even water it down. They literally erased us.
Yeah.
They're just trying to steal Democratic seats. They were stealing black seats.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I just felt compelled. And I'd say what I say. It wasn't planned. I just talked. I was just so angry.
You were Candace.
And the next thing
you
I
were
know,
the tree shaker.
First of all, I'm older than Candace. Okay. I was going viral before they had this. I went viral on HISD school board when we named schools. But I didn't do it when they had social media like they do now. But my point is, this is some serious shit. And even though I can laugh about stuff, it breaks my heart that they always coming for us. And then our supposed to be allies never stand for us.
But we stand every time.
And we always stand for them. Next thing you know, we coming out the governor's mansion. I'm getting texts from everybody. That's what went viral.
Yeah.
He lying, he making up some shit. You know, subpoenas in Texas don't work here, they don't work there.
Yeah.
And you know I'm black. I talk.
Yeah. Those were the point. That's what I remember from the
And
thing.
so,
Yeah, that was
and that's
memorable.
what, and then I can tell you, then I started getting calls from Joy Reid and Don Lemon. I already knew Roland, Meet the Press, right? And then I hear from them that when they're calling the Democratic Party is telling them they don't need to talk to me.
Oh.
And the people's like, no, but the people want to hear from her. Right? So I had been on Meet the Press and they told me they were going to call me back. I was great. And then when I called back, they were like, we're going in another direction. People were like, they wanted a narrative. The Democrats wanted a narrative that wasn't true because they're always appealing or trying to appeal to white folks who ain't never going to vote for us anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like literally, why wouldn't you spend money on some people? If you just get us to the poll, we going to vote for you because you don't want to win with us. Right? You don't want to. And it's just very frustrating. Anyway, that's how I'm very good friends with Joy Reid now. I'm very good friends with Don Lemon now. Like I've always been good friends with Roland. You know, he went to Yates. He graduated from Yates. And I now have access to media that I didn't have. And I can tell you that they weren't allowing they were trying to stop black media. I'm friends with Zach, the activist. I'm friends with Booker Square. You know, I'm friends with AB. I know all these people because they were trying to get to me. It was very difficult for them to get to me. The party was trying to stop them from getting to me because the party wanted who it wanted to tell a story that literally erased black people. And it was just a very frustrating time. It was a very difficult time. And so, you know, and I've gotten to the point, I'm sick of people trying to erase us. I'm sick of people peeing on me and telling me that it's raining. I'm sick of people trying to make me think that if I advocate for the survival and the thrival, I just made that word up, of black people, it rhymed, in case you didn't get it.
Put it on a t-shirt. Survival and thrival.
Survival and thrival. And at what point are black people going to be unapologetically black,
Right,
and not let people try to shame us into thinking that if we love our people and we're proud and we're just want for us to get what everybody else gets, that we're somehow being divisive. Tallarico has spent millions of dollars. We talked about this on the best Hispanic consultants. He has spent money on paying Hispanic or Latino influencers because some people get their information from influencers, but you want black people to give it to you for free. You come and recruit our volunteers, but you paying white folks and you paying Hispanic folks to do the same stuff you're trying to make us feel guilty about and do for free. So guess what? This is what I got to say. Why on earth would I buy the cow if I can get the milk for free?
Right.
And at some point, black people have got to say, I recognize I'm the damn cow. Right? And so that was what last night was about. I wanted to teach black people, this is why we valuable.
Yes.
So when you negotiate, you have got to negotiate from a position of strength, not of weakness. You can't negotiate on your knees.
Right.
You can't go to James Tallarico and be like, ooh, can you please talk to me? Like, what you gonna do with black people? No, you go to James Tallarico and say, you better talk to me. And these are our demands.
Absolutely.
And last night, I made demands.
Yes.
And last night, I made sure that the black influencers were showcased. I told them to stand up, say your name, tell people what your platform is. And I told the white people in the room, these people have value. People listen to them.
Yeah.
Pay them.
Well, I look at people like
She
you.
did do that too.
She did. I look at people like you, July. I look at Shay Jordan Smith. I look at Erica. I look at ... He's so uppity, right? Everybody else, and I don't think people truly value. Right? You have your folks that are popular for lifestyle stuff. You are giving actual knowledge. You are taking people and teaching people.
Yeah.
Erica, the Black Women Who Brunch. Black girls who brunch. She will get on and break it down.
Yeah.
She's doing civic education in a way that is accessible and in a way that is actually
digestible
and not intimidating.
And not intimidating, right? And so I find it fascinating. You should be on the mic all the time because it's easier. Look at what last night looked like. Imagine if you were actually courted, and they gave you more. Like, imagine how many.
Oh, but that's too much. Like, right? I mean, I've been black all my life. You know, we got to fight for everything.
But everything. It is, and it's almost like. You ever see refs make bad calls?
Yes.
And then you find out 2 years later, like, oh, he was in on it. He was a bet, right?
We find out. We knew. And it's like, well, why don't they want that? Because it's right there. I noticed you weren't in the room at the KBC. You were one of the first people I was looking for. I was like, and somebody had told me that people call me and ask me. There were people who called me and asked me if I was going. I said no, and I didn't go because I didn't want to hijack his event. Come to find out, my presence hijacked it anyway.
It did. Yeah.
Organically.
Right.
The brother, I mean, people respect various leaders. They have relationships, admiration. That man lived way in Cyprus. Yeah. And he was talking about your district. He was talking about you as the leader of this district. He trusts your voice. And so him phrasing the question he did and saying, how will you reach militants? That's a reality. We're not a monolith as a people.
Right.
And so we have different communities. And so when he said your name, it didn't shock me or bother me. It was like, yeah, because she's one of the ones. She's one of those voices that people respect. But he was asking, like, you need to make that right with her because we trust her. And people have to understand, you may feel a way about Rep Jones, but it's a lot of people who rely on Rep Jones. And he spoke to that. And I thought that was a powerful moment. It was a very honest, they couldn't control the honesty that was going to happen in that space. They could control a lot of things, but what was going to come out of our mouths, you know? And so what happened with Candace, what people are not talking about online that's pissing me off. Everybody talking about the effect. Ain't nobody asking what was the cause. Right. The cause was after 5 questions, the girl said, this will be our last question.
No, and I do not believe it was a coincidence that the last question was before Candace spoke.
Hold on. I jumped up. I'm sitting right in front of him. And I didn't get the mic.
Oh, and you know what I heard? So let me be clear. People were giving me a blow by blow. Right? I was like, why are these people calling me and telling me this stuff? They were like, they weren't even going to call on July. And somebody had to go up there and tell him, you better call on July. They probably say, she's an influencer. And if you don't call on her, then she going to bust your ass on her show, right? Right? And that's what I'm talking about. Get people on your campaign who know who people are.
When I saw Candace in line, I was like, okay.
I was ready for it because I knew what she was going to ask. She's going to talk about education. Everybody know Candace is going to talk about education. HISD is the largest school district in the state,
7th largest in the country,
and it's been fucked. It's been flipped, turned upside down every which way. And she cares about education and the students. She was gonna tag him, and his campaign knows. Let me tell you. I know these campaigns follow us online because we can say some shit and say what they need to do. If they did this will happen. And all of a sudden, they do it.
Yes.
Right.
So
no,
I
they
know.
don't do it. They talk it. They just
they apply it in voice, in words.
No, they don't do it. They just steal your words and say the right shit.
Okay. But I know they pay attention. So when they were not choosing from that side, I'm like, y'all. Okay. So when she says that this will be the last question, the whole room was like, what?
Because they had started.
It just started.
Yeah. And at first they were popping around, and I noticed that he filibustered. Like that
Them
first,
answers were too long.
They're way
it
too
was
long.
6 minutes and something.
That's a comms issue. Y'all need to
Yes.
train. Y'all can hire me though.
Yeah.
And I know some other folks you can hire. But that's a comms issue.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's some coaching that has to take place. Because why is your answer so long?
yes. And
And-
why are you
and-
answering it like this at the KBC?
And
Right.
why are you talking about how hard it is to struggle as a white person with a white mama?
Right.
Like, no disrespect,
Right.
but the white struggle is different than the black struggle,
It is. It
right?
is.
So I don't, and you get benefits of the doubt that we don't get.
Mhm.
So you can't tell stories like that.
We're joined in the comments, the one and only Dawn Jones with the Texas Courier, Stevie Said, Erica Matlock, Robert Williams, my mama, Shay Jordan Smith, Lisa Valdez, Yvonne Sanchez. Ivan was handling his bit. Let me tell you something. Them
Yes.
staffers, she was taking notes. This one had the sign-in sheet. I was like, this how you run a meeting.
The intern who wants to be an attorney,
I
baby,
was
her
ju-
typing.
Listen.
Yes.
She was getting that.
Yes,
She's
you
on
could
top
see
of
the
it.
notes on the screen. I was like, they thought about this. They thought it through.
You clearly haven't been to my events.
I have. No, I'm just saying for what it, because I guess I was thinking it was going to be a smaller thing. I didn't think that.
You thought it
But
was
a
gonna be
person-
more intimate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that was my initial thing. Like, not that you don't put on big events.
I thought it was
just
gonna
thought
be
that
a
this was gonna
crowd. And I was like, oh shit, well, I'm
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
Because it's about to
And,
be
and
packed.
here's what's funny. You said the First Amendment.
Mhm.
That is important to me.
Yeah.
There were 3 people who stood up, said stuff I did not agree with.
And she was
I
like a
saw
swan.
that.
Because I was over
That
there like,
one lady.
That one
but
lady.
I
her
was
face
like-
never changed. And I was like,
And
well, let
she
me
stood
fix
And
my
there.
then
face.
Let
people
her
were
sit
trying to
and
get
speak.
were trying to get me to stop her from talking. And if you're a lawyer, and I love being a lawyer, you learn that
You
even
protect all the rights for
even
everybody.
dissenting voices have a right to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm the first Black openly LGBT person in the Texas legislature, that's men or women, not just the first woman, the first ever, I have to protect the rights of somebody who's racist so that I can protect my rights.
Right. Because the faces in the room changed when she was saying what she's saying. They're like, whoa, what do you whoa,
But
hold on.
I was not going to shut her down.
Yeah.
She had a right to speak.
Yeah.
And you know what? She said that crazy stuff, and she wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right? They was
Yeah.
they was
They
they,
wasn't
was,
lying.
they
They-
literally
Yeah.
were talking
a
about
few of them
Yeah.
cheered.
yeah,
They-
because and the one was like, oh, you just gonna give Democrats votes because they fed you some chicken. She didn't say shrimp. She should have said shrimp.
Yeah.
Like
I know she
like-
ain't say
like-
spaghetti because baby, that spaghetti was busting.
Darrell brought that.
Yeah.
And so, but I fought for their right. And when
Yeah.
people were talking, I said, I need for y'all to be. We talked about Black stuff. We talked about if you got a Black mom like I got a Black mom.
Mhm.
My Black mother taught me sometimes it's time for you to be quiet.
Yeah.
Right? It's and like, what is wrong with y'all? These people up us here telling us they lost their job, and then the federal government made sure they didn't get unemployment. So not only did they take their jobs of
Mis-
Black women,
misbear.
but they wanted them to
Yeah.
be destitute.
Yeah.
That's the word she used.
Mhm.
People up here telling you stuff they would never tell people.
Mhm.
Yes.
People's homes are getting stolen in Third Ward,
Mhm.
right? And y'all just talking. Oh no, I'm not about to let you disrespect them like that.
Yeah.
I'm about to call your name.
Mhm.
I'm about to call you out.
Mhm.
And so stop it.
Yeah.
And I was going around walking to people.
Mhm.
You being rude. You being disrespectful. You want to talk? Just go outside. When you
Mhm.
finish talking, you can come in.
Yeah.
Because that's what Black villages do,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
And it was a
that's-
safe room. It was a
Yeah,
safe room
yeah.
for people to tell those type of stories. And that was my comments last night, or I guess it was
Mhm.
last night, early this morning, was that it was just beautiful to see people having that space.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people are gonna do what they need to do, but they
Mhm.
just need to get that shit off their
Out.
chest.
Yeah.
They gotta get it
Yes.
out. And holding people back from being able to express because that's not the narrative you want to let people just get it off their chest. That's all they want.
Yes.
Just let them get off their
Well, and
chest.
then also it wasn't about elected officials. So I didn't let elected
Yeah.
officials
Mm-mm.
speak.
Yeah.
The stars of the show
Mhm.
With a
The people-
community.
were the community.
Mhm.
And as it was, Vera stood out, Dr. Aurelia Johnson stood out. There were several other people that stood out because when in our community do you get the mic to express yourself to the room?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is a very rare thing. And so
It used to be common.
it needs to be common. It really does. And I want to applaud you again for like pointing it out, because I ain't gonna lie, I was back there. I was like, okay, it's been, but then when you pivoted it and you reframed it, I was like, you know what? let me listen to this sister.
Yeah.
Let her, you're right, let her finish. Because the world tells this black woman, you got 60 seconds when you at City Hall. And they don't even look at you. Don't even next,
They're on their
followed
phone.
by.
And people were telling me I was letting people talk too long. They was like, cut them off. I was like, I'm gonna let the people speak.
Let them
Yeah.
speak.
The only one that I had to talk to about time was Carisha. She was the last one.
You were Carisha.
She was the last
Yeah.
one.
What time did
And
it
we were
end?
supposed to be done by
8:45.
Right.
We need to
Okay.
be done by 8:45.
Uh-huh.
And the person was up there talking,
It's
and
like
it
almost
was
8:40.
and it was 8:40. And I said, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
It's cool.
but you only got 5 minutes. But you never get 5 minutes in city council.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
you'll
Yeah.
never get. I had to leave because my mom had brought the
Crock
spaghetti,
pot.
the crock pot and stuff, and so I wasn't gonna make her pack that in her house by herself and stuff. And then she ended up doing it anyway before I made it. But no, applaud you for doing that, and I think it sets the example. The template is right there. Copy her homework or let her have the mic. Like I'm looking at the quorum break, and it's like, why was anyone else trying to explain what she just eloquently did? Like
I'm a
stop
lawyer.
trying to and you said that too. And I like the way you lined it up. And I'm like, boom, boom, boom. So we have to.
But we educated people
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
I had Ashley Etienne.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
She's a
This is a
bad-
black woman from Houston who was an advisor to President Obama, an advisor to President Biden,
Mm-hmm.
an advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris, and an advisor to Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth?
Yeah.
Like, everybody in that room should have been listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
She literally explained to us why we are important and why the Democrats better pay attention to us. Otherwise, they're going to lose the strongest voters and the backbone of the party. And she made it simple.
Simple.
She explained it. She talked about age. We ain't the same.
Yep.
People from this 50 and older, this is what they want.
Yep.
And she broke it down. And then she had that them over there on the right. She had them that little small percent of black Republicans. You know, you just gotta
Yeah,
love them
yeah,
from a distance.
yeah,
Just move
yeah.
them over,
Yeah.
and then you gotta try to work and get everybody else.
Right.
And so the fact I was so excited that she agreed to present for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have to pay her. She did it for free.
Oh wow. Because you did
She
it for
did
community.
She did it for free.
And,
Yeah.
and it was a beautiful thing to look at the front of the room. Like, I know you, I know Shamir, I know, right? Tracy, but it was cool. Like, even though I know you, it was cool to be like, look at this. You have the
Black women.
black woman state representative, the black woman party chair, the black woman chair of HBAD.
And
I
Smokey.
was like,
It's
wow.
Smokey.
And
Smokey.
Smokey.
Smokey's gonna
And
always be
Smokey.
there.
Look, he took his 2 minutes and he stood to the side. He knew his place. And it was like, look at
powerful.
this. Like, if we could really lean into
We
it.
literally had a conversation. I told him, look, we ain't talking for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
I was the MC, right?
Yeah.
I had to
Mhm.
try to keep us on track. And then Ivan was keeping me on track. Like, Rip,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, what time is it?
Yeah.
Did you see all that? Did you
Yeah,
see that going on?
yeah.
Because I was like, we're not gonna be on Negro time.
Yeah.
Everybody know
Yeah.
what Negro time is.
Yes.
Started on time,
And we
ended
said,
on
I told
time.
Tracy, I can only give you like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I told Shamir, since you're a host, I can only give you 10 minutes because I don't want the majority of our time important people talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want the majority of the time, I guess, important people listening
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
to people that never get listened to.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I was very deliberate.
I want to do more of this field stuff. What was really cool about it, and I had so many people to be like, a lot of white progressives that are trying to tell me what I should do in the field.
Right.
And some people were like, you should have registered him to vote. You should. Okay, here's the thing.
I said that. I was
Well,
like,
no.
did
But
you-
I understood
did you
where you come
ask?
from. I knew where you come from.
Because she
I'm
a
talking about the
transplant.
right, but the other people, and by the way, you know I did. You know,
Okay.
everybody that and the brother who was like, I don't vote. I sat down with him. Right? Because what I'm realizing is in my nonprofit org, which is nonpartisan, whatever, we held listening sessions. And what I'm realizing is y'all that are watching, we're in a bubble.
Yep.
No matter how like you're in a bubble. And it took to sit down and hear. So why I'm doing this because I want to hear from as many people as possible what it is. And I try not to influence them until after, but I want to know, what is the barometer? Where is the wind blowing? What is working? What is not? Because what I usually assume it is, it's not. It is not. And so many people are so disconnected. They're like, people feel totally disconnected. The example that I gave earlier today, he cuts my hair, he comes to the house. But usually when I used to go to the barbershop, I used to hate walking in and they'd be like, you watching the game? Because I know nothing about sports. So I don't know what season is it?
You ain't even watch
Baseball,
soccer?
basketball? I did.
Jesus.
Well, once it gets hot, then I'll do it. Like once it was like Spain and whatever the other one was, I was like, let me go get a shirt.
The other one was?
Oh,
Let me
Jesus.
go get a shirt. Or like if it's like I like the colors, like Brazil is green and But no, I
You
literally
really pick colors?
I will pick colors. And so
Don't.
but think
I
about
don't
it.
say don't tell nobody else, but you just
No,
told the
but
whole
I
wide
told
world.
everybody. Well, because people know. Because my thing is that's the only way that so the same way that your cousin is like such and such got traded. Nah, because remember, and they know all the stats. That's what it is. Politics for me. I can tell you who served where before where.
Mhm.
So it's just reverse it. So that gives me that understanding. Like, okay, look at politics the way that somebody else looks at the Rockets. It's like I know the colors. I know
a
they
sport.
play. It's a
Yeah.
sport.
No, it's not just a sport, it's a contact sport.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a
Mhm.
And it is
contact
not for the
sport.
weary.
And it's not. And to your point about so many people trying to tell you what to say, trying to erase your ability to make this real connection. It's almost like, here, use these points. I ain't gonna lie. There's been many a time.
Bend the knee. I was like,
Let me
bend
tell
the
Let
knee.
me tell you, there's been many a time people have handed me some talking points. I get up there and say what I want. Right? But a lot of people will, and I think that we do have to push that because we know what's working. And I think so many of us are ringing the alarm. We are saying, hey, if y'all really want to win, I'm in the barbershop, I'm in the beauty shop, I'm listening to my mom, my aunts, my uncles are my litmus test.
Right.
Mhm.
Right? Tina Kingshill, the lady who helped me start Project Orange, going into jail, registering voters. She didn't know who some of these folks are. And she held, when Beto ran, she was one of the satellite locations. So what does that mean? How does that translate?
And I think that's the kind of the key issue, right? Is that we're not having the important conversations. The way the party constantly whitewashes every aspect.
Can you say that again?
The way the Democratic Party constantly whitewashes almost every aspect of this political process. And then we're sitting here wondering why nobody wants to engage with us. This is why. People want you to have that heart to heart. They want you to connect with them. They don't want you to just keep saying these specific talking points or what the charts say. They want you to connect with the people in the neighborhood, the people in these certain communities. And when you don't do that, this is how we get Trump. And that's the frustration. Like that's kind of what started the progressive movement. I know the white progressives have not been doing the good job, but like overall, the progressive movement exists is because we have been way too afraid to have tough conversations. Certain strategies aren't working. Certain people aren't being reached. We're constantly disconnected from the actual reality that's going on for these people's daily lives. And then we're mad that they're not getting out to vote. We have to stop that. There is no more time for games. The fact that Trump got his term twice, it means that there needs to be an overhaul of the Democratic Party as a whole. There needs to be leaders who are about the action and not just trying to posture to the next reelection, because that's unfortunately where a handful of them are, and they have to go like expeditiously. And so it's really like the event last night was a really good step in trying to have those hard conversations, and it needs to happen more. I heard a woman in the back actually say they're going to try to do it in Fort Bend.
And hopefully they are.
I just want to say, y'all, my events are always like that. I just haven't been to my events.
Yes.
My events are always like that. My events always are constituent centered. Always. They're never elected official centered. Never. Myself and Smokey were the hosts, but other people talked more than us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, whenever I have an event, Darrell, I'll invite you to it.
Yes.
And you can invite your guests. I'm going to have a what bills do you think I should file event.
Mhm.
I love
And
that.
people got to
Yeah.
come, and they better do their homework, because if they think they're about to give me something and they think I'm going to do all the work, they're crazy. It's going to be a partnership. You better come with your T's crossing, your I's dotted, and you better have done your research. And then you need to sell me on why I should file your bill.
You know what's cool, and I want to pitch something to you, Rep. So one of the funders that funds the nonprofit work that we do, they have what's called a participatory grant process. So on day one, every organization gives a 3 or 4 minute presentation. And you have to sit through all the presentations. And then on day 2, that's when we vote on who gets what and blah, blah, blah. So it was my first thing that I could relate to. I was like, this must be like The Ledge. This is what it must feel like, because it's like the first time you do it, it's one way, but the second time it's like, no, I'm not going to talk too much. Let's let the dust settle and then do some amendments. Let's start building our. And so I love to do things that are workshops, so tables, and almost like, and this could be a totally separate event, but I just want to pitch it to you, so that people get the process of what it's like to
An
work with their
experience.
table,
Mhm.
to like learn who's at your table, blah 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 blah, to have some examples of what a build process looks like. Like, because
we're already doing.
you're already doing
what
it.
you don't know,
Okay.
every one of my events has an education and has a lesson.
I love
So in my "What bills do you think I should file"
it. Yes.
event, which is another listening event,
Yes.
because I'm listening to see what
Yes.
you think I should file, you're going to learn how a bill is passed. Most people literally have no clue how a bill is passed. Then they mad that you didn't pass a bill,
Mhm.
because I think knowledge is
Power.
power.
Mhm.
And so again, we will have food
Mhm.
when we have it. I generally have it in August or September,
Okay.
because the first time that I can file a bill is in November, and it just takes time to prepare the process.
Mhm.
And so you will learn that,
Mhm.
because people don't know, and you will have to commit to participate, to get witnesses to come up if
Mhm.
it gets a hearing. So you're going to learn all that stuff when you come, because it doesn't make sense that I'm not bringing back information for you to
Mhm.
to understand. Another event that I will be having is a Know Your Rights. Now let me be clear. I've been
I
doing
love
Know
that.
Your
Be
Rights with
clear.
the police training since 1998. The
Mhm.
first one I did was in Acres Home in Pastor Chris Wright's church.
Mhm.
And I've been doing it. And I've even done it at South Texas College of Law for
Mhm. You
Hispanics.
did it
I've
for
done
us.
it
You did it for us
I've
at the
done it
KCOH.
at KCOH. I've done it.
Mhm.
I do it all, and it's free. But
Mhm.
now with this whole ICE thing, I literally amended it or revised it to include some federal law, because federal and state law are different.
Mhm.
But no one thinks that immigrants can be black. Everybody thinks it's only Mexicans, and that's not true.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of Afro Latinos
I just we were
Yes.
saying
and
that before you got here.
Afro-Caribbeans
Yes.
and Africans
Yes.
who are being picked up and deported. I
Yeah.
literally have a friend she's not black. She literally has two African, well, they were American, but their mom is African, and she was here legally with papers, and they took her into ICE custody. And this woman who is Hispanic has two black babies, and them
Wow.
babies miss their mama.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's terrible. They're trying to see if they can get her out. That's not going to happen. And so I've been talking to Ivan about it.
Mhm.
We're probably going to do like an Afro Latino or an African immigrant thing to help them, because everyone's doing everything just in Spanish,
Yes.
and there are people who speak other languages,
Right.
and
Mhm.
so that they know their rights when it
Mhm.
happens, and connecting them with resources
Mhm.
like if they, when they come, do this, and this,
Mhm.
and the services provided, like if you have children.
Yeah.
So those are at least two that are coming up.
Mhm. I want to
Excellent.
make sure too, and let me know like who on your staff to get with. So there's a rally this Saturday, and after the rally on Monday, it's
Monday
just,
I'll be at NCSL. There's a
Okay.
black person who's over. NCSL is a national conference of state legislators,
Mhm.
and we have a black guy over it for the first time ever.
Wow.
I normally don't go to NCSL because
Mhm.
it's a whole bunch of Trump stuff going on.
Where's he
with-
from?
Why do I think he's from Denver? Maybe where's Marcus from? I'll have to look.
Mhm.
So I'm going to show support
Yes.
for him,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Because I normally go to NBCSL, National Black Conference
Uh-huh.
of
Mhm.
State Legislators,
Mhm.
because we all going through it in our respective
Yes.
states,
Yes.
and we just need a safe black space
Yes.
to just be reinforced
Mhm.
and see what strategy might work in your racist red
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
And so it's just about decompressing with black people who are going through the same struggle.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We're meeting at 1:30 at an African restaurant on the Southwest Side
Call what?
on Monday. It's called the Afghan Village.
Never been there.
Afghan
Do
Village.
they have good agusi?
I never been.
Fufu.
So the way it came about, I reached out because I recognize I'm not as in the loop with the Black immigrant fight, right? And I was like, what can we do? Like, how can we tie in? So like we're having a lunch, and Roshan is going to be there too, just to see like how can we plug in, because there is this.
Let me tell you something. I don't talk about this a lot, but
Uh-huh.
back when I thought I was straight, I was married to a man who was from Colombia, South America. Spanish is his native language. I'm fluent in Spanish.
Mhm.
I was fluent before I met him, for the record. So it
Really?
ain't
Oh,
because
you
of him.
did? Okay.
Since 1982. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay.
In any case, my oldest stepson is 6'9.5", 6'10". Obviously, he's an athlete. My ex-husband was 7'1". So compared to him, everybody's short. But my stepson, when he came to the U.S., he didn't speak English. Spanish is his native language. He speaks Spanish. He presents Black, right? Because
Mhm.
his daddy Black, that baby mama is Black. So he looks Black, but the second he opens his mouth, you know he's not from here.
Mhm.
Before he got to college, because he's playing ball now in another state that's red, I'm terrified. The second, and he's Black. He's a Black man. So when he was in high school and he lived with me, some stuff happened with his papers, and we were working to get his papers because he came here documented in the sports school that he went to in California, just messed everything up. So I literally was terrified whenever he left the house, because I just didn't want for him to encounter the police,
Mhm.
because I didn't want my baby to be like detained and deported to who knows where.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because the kids, they always think things are going to work out right.
Mhm.
They always think that. But I was terrified. So I understand the immigrant struggle when you worried about your kids not coming home. And what am I going to do? I have to have a contingency plan. And I'm like, I need you in before dark. I don't need, because the second he opens his mouth,
Yeah.
he speaks very heavily accented English, because he speaks English now. But my other two stepchildren, who they don't speak English at all. So y'all think this ain't going on with Black people.
It is.
It's going
Oh,
on
yeah.
with Black people. Some Black people speak French. Y'all don't know that.
Yeah.
They speak all kinds of languages.
Mhm. Haitian Creole.
They do.
Mhm.
And anyway,
It really hit home for me. I on these different calls with the dreamers and this and that, and there are those little red cards. If this happens, here's what you do. But I was getting my car washed at the Honey, whatever it is, right there on the OST next to
yeah.
Honeybee.
Honey. Mhm. And by the way, if y'all go there, get the coupon book, because the coupon book is $90. You get 10 washes, and they'll do inside and outside with the coupon.
Yeah, but they cost more than some other ones, so I go
Sure.
somewhere else. But that's another story for another day.
But you go through, and then you go over there, and then the ladies are drying and wiping it down. And right across that little street, there's like a little strip center, and then there's an O'Reilly. And in that O'Reilly parking lot, there was an SUV. The guys get out with their little vests, and all the ladies run towards the building. And I'll never forget, like, as it was happening, I didn't realize what was going on. And then it was like, oh, this is literally the thing
Hooray.
from the call.
Mhm.
Like, and they knew to go in the building. And it's like, this is on OST. This
Yeah.
is not a faraway thing.
It's not a Hispanic.
It's not a
area.
Hispanic thing. There were women who looked like my mom or my auntie running, right? This is actually happening. People are getting picked up. They're pulling people over with unmarked cars, unmarked this and that, and they're using the exact same. They find the narrative that works, the narrative that calms people down, right?
Right.
We know what it was and still is for young Black men. He reached for his waistband. Remember?
Not even young Black men.
Yeah. Yes.
Black men.
Black
period.
man, period.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this works. That kind of does it. And they remixed that. And now the new thing is they use their vehicle as a weapon. Right. And
But
then
that's actually not new. They do that all the time
That is
in the criminal
wild.
in the criminal courts. Yeah, they'll wreck your car and say you wrecked them,
Mhm.
wow.
and then the dash cam ain't working.
Wow.
Convenient.
Now I do want to switch. I did my ADHD kicked in, but I didn't get to ask you this when you were sitting here about the sisters-in-law. So one of the stories, one of the storylines was when Juanita, because you won your case, that was the thing. Juanita.
I want all of my cases. Get it right.
Right.
Okay. Clearly, you ain't got no memory
Right.
like July. Okay.
But Juanita had the case, and it was like, okay, it's the show, so clearly this person is going to, they're going to win because they wouldn't put a sad thing.
No.
Yes, they would.
You're wrong.
Wow.
You're wrong. Let me tell you how that plays out.
Okay.
When they tell us when they're gonna film, and you look at your caseload, and they ask you to talk about the cases that you have. So it's not made up,
Okay.
right? And I just so happened to have a murder case when they were filming. And we have to find out from our clients whether they are okay.
Mhm.
Now, let me be clear. I was with my client. We're only going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the truth is you going to win or you going to lose on TV. Wow. So that's not true. Like they started filming with Miss Livesay in that particular murder case. And I've gotten a number of murder people accused of murder off. I'm just going to put that out there in the universe.
Wow.
But with Miss Livesay, I thought it was an opportunity to teach people about domestic violence because I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And on that night, somebody was going to die and the right person died. And literally, that was my defense. Right. And but I was very nervous to lose on TV.
Because she lost, and it messed me up because like you kind of get to know the person through the screen. And then it's like he's thinking that he's gonna get probation or something, and they were like, no. And it was like his family was there and all that. And then I'm thinking, is this what lawyers go through all the time?
Oh my God! You know what?
Because it's just like I would have been no good.
You need to do a whole show on that because let me tell you something. All clients ain't good clients. You have clients who will not do what you say. You will try to save them from themselves, and they won't listen. And you see that train wreck about to happen. Or sometimes, like, for example, everybody want probation, right? If you're the type of person, and there's two types of probation. There's deferred adjudication, where if you successfully complete it, you will not have a final conviction on your record. And then there's straight probation, where you will have a conviction. But with deferred adjudication, if you sign for that, you have the entire range of punishment. If you mess up, the judge can choose from. So like, let's say you're facing 2 to 20. And you sign for 2 years of deferred adjudication. If you mess up 2 years, the judge can sentence you to 20 years.
The whole 20.
If you get a straight probation and you do 3 years straight probation, you're limited to the time, like however long your probation was, right? And I meet a client, I gotta be like, does this person like people to tell him what to do, right? Because when you're on probation, if they tell you to pee, you better pee. They tell you to do a cartwheel and do the splits, you better do that. If they tell you to come in and report, you better do that. I mean, and if you're a person and you do not like people telling you what to do, you are not a good candidate for probation. And I'd be like, man, look, you don't like to do what I do, like what I tell you to do. And I'm your lawyer. I have an obligation to protect you even from yourself. So why don't you just let me negotiate you some time that you can do? And like I maybe can get you some county time and make this be over. Yeah, it's a conviction, but your exposure is, 15 days in jail. Now, and then if you do probation, you have to pay money every month. If you have to do a monitor, you have to do that. That's what the big deal was with Ms. Livesay. To get the monitor on was $600. You poor. And then you got to pay them like $300 a month to monitor you with the monitor. If you poor, you can't afford that.
Yeah.
That's why and I fought for her not to have to wear a monitor. Like this man was I started to cuss on your show.
You can. No one cuss here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was an abuser. Like he literally raped his sister. He raped his cousins. He was a little man. And when I saw his pictures in the autopsy, I knew why he was an abuser. He had an extremely small penis. I swear it was this long. And so he overcompensated. No, true story. True story. There's so many things you can tell about people. Yeah. So, and he was a little man. He was a little man. And so what he did to compensate was he was a bully. He fought everybody. He raped every woman that he was around to control. And again, I saw because in autopsy you get to say, I said, you know what? That's
so
it.
I didn't think about
That's
that.
it.
So everybody has to see everything. So
Yeah,
in a murder
get all
case,
evidence.
You have to sit through
Like where he got shot, You know, so
How do you reconcile that? Because I just think about, I just do this organizing stuff. Every now and then I get a bad story and it'll mess me up. Sometimes I will hear someone's story, I will meet someone, I will sit across from them, and I want to be the fixer. I love it when it's easy and it's like, oh, we'll sign you up for this program and it'll all be good. But then sometimes it's like, wow, and it'll mess me up.
It's
I
complicated.
need a day.
Mhm.
So how do you, like, I was wondering, so Juanita had that loss, she cried. What if you have court later? You have to go in there and do your thing still?
yes. I mean, how long
Wow.
have you been? How long you been black?
Yeah, I know, but it's like,
I mean, you got to get up,
wow.
right? You've got to get up. And you know, when I was trying to find mitigation evidence, when I was preparing the grand jury packet, and I was trying to explain who Detroit was, and that's a black name, Detroit, but he was
Yes,
white.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found all these stories. He beat kids, like he literally beat kids, and this kid had grown up, and so I had him as a witness for the grand jury
Mhm.
because he couldn't spell a word. He beat that baby,
Wow.
and we got a grown man reliving what happened when he
As a
was like 6
child.
years old.
Yeah.
Right? This was a terrible man,
Yes.
and he was gonna kill her. Like he literally said stuff. He was I didn't know what a doomsday prepper was till I represented her. Y'all know what a doomsday
Yes.
prepper is?
Mhm.
Tell the
They
people.
them dudes they think the world gonna end.
And they ready.
They got weapons everywhere. They think people gonna come steal their weapons. They got food store places. They know how to shoot. And he would tell us stuff like, you know, I can shoot you from a mile away and nobody will notice me. He was like a marksman, like he could just like shoot you.
Mhm.
Can you imagine living your life? And he said he gonna kill you,
With that
Yeah.
kind of fear.
Yeah.
and he can just shoot you, and ain't nobody gonna know where it came from.
Mhm.
Like she used to be like, her family's like when she was younger, she was like blue-eyed, blonde hair, looked like she was the girl from Ipanema. They used to call her that song. And by the time I was representing her, let me tell you something. She had stuff in her house because when she would throw stuff away, he would beat her. So she just left stuff there. She didn't throw stuff away because he would be like, "What'd you throw this away for? You know I wanted that." And so she was like afraid to touch
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm. On
Right? That's
edge.
the life she lived.
He made her a hoarder.
He did because
Mhm.
when and he had dogs everywhere. They was nasty, like dog feces everywhere, and it. I can't even tell you. It was just terrible. And the crazy thing is, he gave her a gun. He just knew somebody was gonna break in and try to kill her, and he was gonna beat her that day, and he was gonna kill her that day. And thankfully, she was able to get under the bed first and shoot her. But imagine the pressure to me. Like I know this woman. I'm talking to her family. I'm seeing how he treats everybody. His sister testified against him. He raped his sister.
Wow.
Who does that?
Wow.
Like it's a good thing they have kids. They could have like 6 toes or
That
10
is
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I started
Yeah.
to say like they do in a certain state, but I'm not going to do
West Virginia.
that. So anyway, my point is we see stuff that's really bad, and you just have to.
How do you? Because you're both, and you've always.
And I'm an empath.
You're an empath, and you've always been a fighter for the people. So, like, I remember, and I would say this to Miss Kathy as well. Like, when y'all were on the school board, I ain't gonna lie. First of all, it was interesting when y'all were on there. When it was Wanda, Rhonda, and Jolanda, I used to set my alarm. I used to set my alarm. I was watching that meeting. But you were always an unapologetic, like you're not just speaking from the book, you're speaking from heart. How are you balancing? Here you are a lawyer where you're representing who knows who, right? And dealing with that, carrying other people's stuff. And then you have to carry the community stuff. And you have to, like, how do you reconcile that? Because
You know what? So it's very depressing. I try to travel. I haven't been able to travel as much as I like. Traveling is my happy place.
Mhm.
I call myself a black mermaid. I can swim. I'm certified. I'm PADI certified scuba diver. I love beaches. I don't want to go nowhere cold with no snow. I don't want to
Exactly.
go on none of them skis. I'm a beach girl, a bikini girl, and that makes me happy. So I can go somewhere and decompress, and then I can come back to live another day. And also I go to NBCSL, National Conference of Black State Legislators. I go to Nobel, National Organization of Black Elected Legislative Women. because we all have the same struggles with our white colleagues everywhere. I mean, my mother always told me, don't be surprised when white people white. And so, and that's like an adjective. And so I try to do things like the event I had, where the people are there to like say, girl, I understand, or just listen to you. Because we all got the same struggles. The people in Tennessee, I just literally had the Black woman is chair of the Democratic Party in I'm sorry, not in Tennessee, in South Carolina. She reached out to me. She needed me to talk to her about some stuff. So we just support each other. So we have a national support system because we getting it everywhere.
Yeah, that building of community is critical, right? It's critical. And I think all of us have to find that, because even if it's not happening to you directly, it's happening to you in experience in society. What is it like seeing these babies on the news? You know, when I heard Attorney Crump this morning name 2 more young Black, I was like, okay, Lord, you know, because that's heavy. So how do we deal with that? We have to stay in community. So like she's saying, she knows she has these safe spaces. She knows who she can call. Like, we have to do that. And some days, you know, it might just be sitting in the car a few extra minutes before you go in the house, not to take it in the house with you.
One of the things I think that people don't appreciate with Black women is we're the people in our families who fix everybody's problems.
Everybody else.
So I mean, I was depressed, and I talked to my sister. I called my sister crying. My sister was at the event last night, and because people think that strong people don't need people to lean on, and they just really never think of strong women. They just don't. They just. And so we need to cry. Like, I'll call my sister if I'm having a bad day. Because sometimes we have bad days. And it's just difficult. But guess what? We don't have the luxury of like giving up. So we got to get through it. We got to get up the next day and do what we got to do. And sometimes I can see people, Black women, especially Black women, struggling. I'll call them and say, I got your back. Like brother Halim Abdul Muhammad did with Candace Weber. He wrote a whole page and said, y'all better step back. We got her. Right. And I know she needed it. Right. Because people just lying, because some of our biggest enemies literally are people with their own a party who are white progressives who think it's okay to judge us. Right. They like I had somebody come to me and say, what y'all gonna do? Are y'all gonna come out to vote? I'm like, wait, huh? The reason we got Trump is because of you.
Exactly.
Like you go tell Meemaw, Meemaw and Paw.
You do that at your Thanksgiving dinner. You go around that table.
Right.
And because we got our table.
And you know, I coach at the Houston Progressive Caucus, and I've had to get on people in my own chat of like, you need to calm down. This is the fight you want.
I mean, because what it is, they're really coming out now. And it's being revealed to me. Are you really an ally when you're when it's only good when you hold in the aux cord and you get to control what you listen on the radio. So when I say, well, can I play some Luther Vandross? Can I play some Quiet on the Creek?
Why we have to listen to that?
Right? Can we play something? And then now it's a problem. Now it's inconvenient for you. And I mean, people are just blatant. Some of the stuff, it's like, did they really type this and hit enter? Like, you can't see how this is a problem. But going back to what you were saying about decompressing, and you too, you know, I grew up in a household with domestic violence. My father was a terror. And we've been, what do you call it? It's a new term now. Oprah has it. I've been,
estranged?
No, it's another thing. No contact. That's what we call it now. But no contact. It'll be 10 years next year. And growing up, I mean, like, it was like fight. Like, cops called, handcuffs. I remember I was in the 6th grade, standing between my mother and my father and telling him, hey, it is what it is. And 911 being called and, you know, all of that. And I remember the next day, first of all, like, we were the ones to go get him. And I'll never forget, he turned around and he said, you better not ask me for another motherfucking thing. Now, I took that as a challenge. Believe it or not, it was like a coolness. So I was like, oh, so if I need a field trip, if I need a whatever. So when you see Turo, flipping houses, this, that, it came from that, right? But also, you know, watching, you know, Lifetime movies, right? I always watch and I'm like, is that where we were headed? Because listen, steps 1 through 8. So this is 9 and 10,
Mhm.
right? And so I just started. It's been some months now, but working on a book, right? And my mom, who's watching, she always asks, "Am I gonna be embarrassed? Am I gonna?" And I tell her, "I don't know," because that's not a consideration as I'm telling my story. So every Friday at noon, I have my book with my meeting with my cohort with my book coach, and there's been twice where I have to read an excerpt. It fucks me up, right?
Which I want to do. I've written a couple of books, but I'd like to have one on the show.
I would
It's
love.
called Owning My. So let me tell you, my book is called Owning My S period H period I period T exclamation point.
Mhm,
Stands for Suffering, Hardship, Internalizing Trauma.
mhm.
And it basically talks about overcoming obstacles. And when people read my book, they say, "Oh, no wonder nothing gets to you,"
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
I got a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
But like, I think people pretty much know I was with my father when he actually blew his brains out. That's super traumatizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a whole chapter in my book called Daddy Go Bang,
Mm-hmm.
because when he did it, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about my difficult relationship with my mother. That happens a lot with Black women and their
Mhm.
mothers sometimes.
Mhm.
I have a chapter in my book, That Bastard, I never liked him anyway because my uncle raped me repeatedly. He was my babysitter. I was 3 and he was 6'7". So use your imagination, and everything you think worse. So I talk about these things and how they shaped me, and how at some point they all were tremendous obstacles, but how I got through them,
Mm-hmm.
and how I turned my kryptonite into my superpower.
And
So
that's the point that I would love. So if you're out there, I think the way that we change hearts and minds, the way that we sort of decompress, because it is therapeutic, it's cathartic. Like I have my moment, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting there. I think more of us need to write books. I think there's a book inside of each one of us. There's a
Mhm.
keynote inside of each one of us. And just because the opportunities, the on-ramps to these opportunities that aren't as easily accessible, right?
Doesn't mean
It doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Right.
Doesn't mean they don't exist. And they don't have to, that process doesn't look like the process that everyone else uses. Because the first, working on this book, I'm not gonna lie, the first little while, I was like, I don't know where I'm kind of going. And then the book started to write itself. And they say, write like you're drunk, edit like you're sober. So in other words, just let it go. I have a copy of your book. I have a hard, what do they call it?
hardback
Hardback copy. And you have on, let me tell you something. Another thing that you need to do, you need to put out, I don't know if it's a cookbook, I don't know if it's a workout video series, I don't know if it's a whatever, but she's on the front with some,
and those clothes are all in my closet. I did not go buy them. The only thing that I rented was a chair at a place
that you put the,
that I
yeah.
put my foot on.
Uh-huh.
But the clothes are mine.
Yes. And very vulnerable, very just, wow. And then it makes sense once you read the book. But one of the things that I do want to do, I want to have a book club. And I was telling Dr. Johnson that when she sat here, we have these people that do these book clubs, Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, did one. When Michelle Obama put out her book, I think that's another part of community that we really have to have. She's been to a couple of my get-togethers. I love to curate. Okay, it's a specialty of mine. You got to come. You got to come next time.
Okay.
I love to have a group of 10. Okay, but a curated group where everybody's thinkers and everybody's like, tell them about it. Tell them about it.
I mean, it was just like a casual get together, kind of talking and playing
Yes.
some games to learn more about each other. Because it's one game in particular where we just ask each other general questions. Like it's a
Mhm.
whole a box of cards, and we just pull.
Table topics for friends.
There we go.
Mhm.
And yeah, we were just asking and getting good questions and answers from each other. So you're learning more about those people. Because some of the
Mhm.
people I'm very familiar with, but some I didn't know. So it's good to know. And also with a few drinks, so it helps.
A lot of drinks. I make a very good trash can punch. Very good trash can. It'll put you on your back.
Just give me the water.
But what I would, Joe, to that point, here's my vision. It's 1 month long. Okay, We use this thing called Skool. I'm an evangelist for Skool, SKOOL. Okay. I do virtual speaker boot camps. I do different boot camp. I do different courses on that, but it'll be a space where everybody who's reading the book together. Every other day there's a prompt. There may be the second week you read 2 chapters. Maybe there's a live the third week where people can ask questions, and then it culminates in an in-person event at a theater where it's music and it's, art and it's dance
It's
and
involved.
it's finally maybe a portion of a read and then a sit down conversation.
So before I got elected to this office,
Mm-hmm.
I would do owning my shit retreats.
Mm.
Very small number,
Mm-hmm.
no more than 5.
Mm-hmm.
A good friend of mine has a place that once Turkey Leg Cut came, they had messed up her $1.2 million house that she had built. So she then put it on the market as an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rent it out. People would buy my book and we would talk about trauma
Mm-hmm.
and getting through trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And because for whatever reason, I have a really great ability to do that. And it would start off and then we would cook,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I know how to cook healthy and
Mhm.
it tastes good. So I would, in advance, whether you want beef or whether you want chicken or fish, and just how to cook healthy and taste good. And because I'm a very good cook.
Mm.
And so we would commune and we'd have to sign NDAs
Mm-hmm.
because we had to share vulnerable things.
Mhm.
So everybody had something they were going through,
Mm-hmm.
and we just worked through it. And so they were 2 and 3 day retreats.
Wow. To your point, I just started with Be Fit Foods, which is a Black owned.
Mhm.
My Fit
Health
Foods.
Let me tell. It's a Black owned My Fit Foods, and let me tell you,
Where is it?
it's right on South Main, over by like NRG and all that.
Okay.
But they'll deliver to, and you could order it on Uber Eats or DoorDash. So, by the way, if you do it, I absolutely love the Spanish lasagna, the shrimp fried rice. They use let's see, shrimp fried rice. There's the turkey chili that's great. There's a salmon with corn thing. Can't tell, but I'm down 10 pounds.
You
I'm down
got
10
excited about
pounds.
that
I'm
salmon
down.
with corn thing.
Well, because it's good. Now, this is what made it exciting, because I've tried meal prep stuff before, but it's not right.
Yeah.
So what made me say, well, let me try her, was I saw it's a Black woman. I'm like, okay, now she's fit. Let me try her stuff. And it is, because a lot of what it is, you have to have protein. Like, so much of our normal diet, well, I don't know about it, not yours clearly, but everybody else's normal diet is like carb,
And
like process. So now I only eat her stuff. Like, that is the boundary that I've set myself, right? Like, boop.
I try to eat a fresh green vegetable every day,
Mhm.
at least one.
Because I'll tell you, when I ran into you at Sunnyside and I had the first time I did one of the little fill things, and I'll never forget, I told Ivan this, I didn't tell you this. I went to hold the mic up and my elbow hit her abs. Okay? All right? I didn't even say anything. I was just like, wow. What did she do? And so, no, I really think you should, because I think it'll be inspiring. There are a lot of fitness people. There are a lot of cook people. Who's showing you how to cook where it still tastes like something? Everything at Be Fit Foods, I don't like the chicken dishes. But she has a ground chicken thing. Ground chicken has always been nasty to me. She has a sriracha chicken thing. And I'm like, are these nutritional facts right? Because this is good. The scale is showing. And so I'm just like, that is an easy, because I don't know how to cook at all. Look at this. Do you see that?
She was ready to do
you see what I'm
push-ups when
saying?
she was on Pretty Petty Politics.
Yes. Like, no, and it is a thing. So kudos. And to everybody else, we're almost 10 over. Shout out to Quincy, who is holding it down. We're here at Sacred Stone Studios on Emancipation. If you've ever wanted to
House District 147.
House District 147, the one and only. If you've ever wanted to host something, do not wait on somebody to tell you that you can. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait until it's perfect. Do not wait until you have the right people. Just jump out there and build it as you go, whatever that thing is that you do. To July,
What's
sister,
up?
thank you.
What?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
You are really filling in a space. You're really showing what you're inspiring others to build community and to stand up for themselves and to do it from this different angle, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the first people to really use academia as a tool and to show that it can work for you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
To Carisha.
You're so dramatic.
Yes,
Yeah.
listen.
No.
Listen, and it's crazy because since I've been doing this, I talk like this on the phone now. So I was on the phone the other day in an Uber, and somebody was like, "Are you like on the radio?" I'm like, start talking like this now. Carisha, keep doing what you're doing. Keep holding it down. Don't let these motherfuckers water you down. Right? You keep being who you are, and there's a lot of people that are behind you that want to see you do well. Representative, y'all don't know. She has represented me in court. Okay, she has answered. Who? I remember this one time there was a call and I was like, "Hey, this is the situation they in." She was like, "Give me their number. I'm gonna talk to them." Right? Keep being the example of what, like, not just elected excellence, not only like community leader, unelected, not only lawyer, mother, like all of that.
Glam mother.
Glam mother, okay? I have never, you know, there's one other person. I saw Shakira without her face made up one time. One time I saw Shakira. I have never seen you not put together, right? I've never seen you.
I was an extremely awkward child, and I got teased a lot and called little black African and stuff. So
that's
I
one
think I
of
still have trauma from that.
that is one of the things. And you keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring a lot of people. You're showing a lot of other people the same way Mom Donnie is up there doing it. It's just like, well, look at what Jolanda did. So all y'all don't notice, right? Now don't call it the road to blue is through black. But take the pieces and get your asses out there and do something, right?
Because if you lay on the couch in November, they're gonna take the couch
In January. That was such a bar last night.
Seriously.
And she walked off. I was like, mic drop.
Yes.
That was powerful.
We couldn't drop the mic because they're my mics and they cost money.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
saying,
you
like,
could have dropped it.
yeah, that was powerful when she said that.
And the very last thing that I want to pitch to y'all that are watching and to y'all that are here. So in 2024, we did a jail-based voter guide, a jail-based voter guide. So we were the first folks to go into the jail and register folks. You helped a lot with that.
That's how I met you, Project Orange.
And so we eventually wanted to do a guide, no offense to the League of Women Voters, but it reads like the King James Version of the Bible, right? Or a legal book to me, right? And so I was like, well, can we do a version of it that is more casual, that looks like a magazine? So we did it in 2024. The first draft of it, like, they got really good. I was like, this is on par with like Ebony or Essence, like, and it didn't take long. So we had to whittle it down because the folks at the jail were like, you can't have this kind of a spine in there and you can't do this. So we watered it down, but I still had the quotes from that first like quote of what it would have cost to do a run of 1,000. Long story short, I want to do a magazine.
Come on.
I want to do a magazine. I think people want to hold something in their hand. As we're doing these listening sessions and I'm talking to people, I'm realizing everybody don't want to do stuff through their phone.
And you can't at the poll.
And you can't at the poll.
You
can't at the poll. And then if you want my mom to not do something, put it in a QR code. Put it in a thing where she has to download a thing and
QR code
and do a thing, right? So I'm like, what if we did a magazine, right? I want Representative Jones on it. She's going to be Miss whatever month, right? Because I think there needs to be a health component. I want to hear the stories of not only how did you become a rep, how did you become a lawyer, how do you stay fit? What are your favorite foods? I think those are the conversations that we need to get back to having. I want to do 6 issues a year. So this is not going to be a 12 issue thing. So it'll be August, September, October, November, right? But I want it to be quality. And I think that is the way that we can inspire people to build and to do when you see other people that are doing things, right?
I think we need a new model voter guide anyway, because I think the main one everyone references right now is League of Women Voters. We need another perspective.
And I think there should be a lot of them. I don't think there should be just one or just two. Like,
it can be. It's just a matter of people having the idea and the willingness to
do
take
it.
the steps to see
Mhm.
it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for this one, I don't want it to be. I think the election edition will have a voter guide in it, but I really want this to be: here are the entrepreneurs, here are the writers, here are the opportunities to do a TED talk, here are the opportunities to travel, here are the opportunities to ... Right. And in closing, as we're 15 minutes past, thank y'all. Shout out to everybody who joins us every week. This is one of my favorite parts of the week. I absolutely love it. Whatever it is that you are called to do, remember, it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Everyone around you is not going to be your biggest supporter because God did not give them the vision. He gave it to you, right? And everything that you start is not going to start easily, right? That tension is the cost of entry. And in the words of the great Jerry Springer, take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.